Jamie, I both admire and despise your challenging vision. And I admire and despise it for the same reason. I have to shout this word. Now, I can't really let my voice go above this level because I'm working and I'm also tracking vocals, so I can't lose my voice essentially, but I will remain at this raised voice level. Let's get started. This is kind of nerve-wracking. Talking threads. So I've been reading the book Fahrenheit 451, part of the Vlogbrothers Nerdfighteria book club, and I was intrigued by the entire book, but I don't have any thoughts on it quite yet because I want to read it one or two more times to fully kind of grasp the whole thing. But what I do want to talk about, and I feel comfortable commenting on, is the addendums to the book at the end that have come with each publishing version. There's two of them in the edition that I have, and they sort of contradict each other. The first one talks about the author's desire to expand upon his book in subsequent editions, and he talks about various versions of the story that have arisen. And he talks about how much he likes the things that he and some other creative individuals have added to his story, and the temptation to add that back into his original book as subsequent versions were published. And though he ultimately states that he's decided that he doesn't want to sacrifice the original vision of what he wrote as his younger self, he wants that to be preserved, he does have a very positive perspective on it. The second epilogue talks about publishers and other individuals who want to censor his work, who want to, you know, take stuff or sections out, either due to them being offensive to a certain group or due to the desire to truncate the novel into its essential components. And in this case, he's specifically talking about schools and publishing anthologies of hundreds of short stories that have been sort of stripped of all of their art for the sake of having them consumed en masse by students. Ostensibly, both of these epilogues talk about his dedication to his original work, the thing that he wrote back in whenever. I did not look that up before I came out here. But the change in tone between these two different versions makes me think that that's kind of balderdash. Instead, what we're seeing is a ranking of the reasons for changing a work between creative individuals and supposed non-creative individuals. Now, pretty much everybody knows about Gotye's mega hit, Somebody That I Used to Know, and probably many of us have seen several different covers of his song by various individuals or groups, and some of them have certainly, I'm sure, been paid for and licensed and stuff, but some of them haven't. But yesterday, Gotye published something that was essentially a remix of all of these individuals' videos. Right now, as we're sort of in this internet age and we're really entering into the age of specifically reinterpretation, where people are using services like YouTube and Tumblr and stuff to take original content by someone else and either remix it or add something to it, hopefully their own voice, their own self. Right now it feels like there aren't really any rules and everything's sort of chaotic. On one side there's artists that want this sort of remix, reinterpretation to happen, and on the other side there's artists who don't want this sort of thing to happen because they want to preserve their original artistic intent and they don't want people censoring it or trying to change it to change its meaning. As artists, I think we need to accept the fact that when we allow derivative or modified works, we open up a fire hose that we can't close again. And I think distinguishing between people using our work for honroifibilitudinatatibus means, and those who have intentions that we prefer not to encourage, is really not practical. But perhaps we can state and enforce our intention to have all or nothing. So what do you think? What do you think the most effective way is of setting this sort of thing up? Sid, I'm going to see you tomorrow, and your challenge is to make a show about nothing. Don't get me wrong, you have to say things, and it has to be at least 2 minutes, but you have to talk about a concept related to nothing, or concepts related to nothing, or the concept of nothing, or the word nothing, or I'm not going to give you any more hints. You just have to do it. All right. I think I've done this enough for one lifetime. Goodbye.